And so this award is to those who have left a mark on the genre that will haunt us forever.
So as you can see, the background for this film came from, first of all, her interest in multiverse or multi-universe. And she wanted to create a plot. The plot would be the key for this film, the plot representing a multi-conscious structure.
I've been studying brainwaves and oscillations, a lot of the electricity stuff that we saw in the film, so I just, that stuff is really what my dissertation is about. But also relevant is I teach this class at UCSD called COGS 100, Cyborgs Now and in the Future, and it's about the relationship between transhumanism and posthumanism, which we'll talk about later in the panel. So I basically teach people how to build neural implants, and then like the ethics required for doing that.
Her first research started with her interest in artificial intelligence and eventually developed into brain science. But for writing the story, she wanted her research to be very wide and diverse, and so her research was very open, but based mostly on what she found on the internet.
I had this like really funny idea that I thought was funny. That was like to create a kind of a parody horror film around a haunted house that was haunted by horny ghosts. It started out as actually like a traditional short, and I'm going to be totally honest, like I kind of couldn't figure out how I wanted to end it, and so then I was just like, well, what if it was a trailer, almost like a proof of concept versus in a world. Yeah, exactly.
The concept was to always do it backwards. This is kind of just, I'll keep it super brief, but same day we shot that, earlier in the morning, I was actually shooting a music video I was hired to shoot. We finished in 2 hours, and we're like, oh, I have this crew and all this gear and by crew, I mean like a couple people, it was very micro budget. I said, I have this crew and this gear for the next 9 hours technically. I paid everyone for a 12-hour day, and rentals aren't due back till tomorrow. I said, what else can we film? So this video was literally conceived, shot, and finished in the one day.
We, my writing partner and I, we've been working in theatre for a decade, and our first love is film. Instead of doing a musical this year, let's write a movie. We just went through like all the things that we love in movies, and we're massive horror fans, and I'm a big sci-fi fan, and Tyler is a big fan of comedy of errors and farce as well. We figured if we only get one chance to make a movie, we're gonna cram it with everything we love about movies. So we just shoved it all in there and hoped that it made sense.
We'll just get the conversation started by saying thank you for being here.
I never knew
Right.
that was inspired off a real article during production. I learned that later.
And he said, I read this story in LA Times a long time ago. He said, but it never really developed. It never really came to me. Like, how am I going to do this? It's such an interesting story.
But horror wasn't what it is now. So it was 6 weeks at #1, which I didn't even realize we were 6 weeks at #1. And November 1st through December, but it was dismissed as a horror movie.
They love this movie. And because you don't, especially at that time, you weren't seeing Black people, oh, you PR, you Puerto Rican, whatever. Yeah. Just a person of color that would lead characters in a film like that. People are just excited to see somebody that looks like them.
And it's twisted and it's funny and it has a message. And it was made full of love. Wes Craven, on set with us, offset, on set is all love.
Good night, thank you.
Good night.
Good night, guys.
Watch your step.
Enjoy the movie.